Hey folks, here at OS Reviews. So as you guys know, we're huge fans of technology, and sometimes we also like to look at devices that are coming out in the future, so prototype products, or we also like to look at retro tech. In this case, this is something that's not completely rolled out yet. It's going to be here soon. It's by Eclipse.tv, and it's an integrated mini Bluetooth speaker. In fact, one of the smallest in the world. We've checked out a tiny cube speaker already. This one kind of matches in that form factor, being extremely small. It doesn't offer the most impressive sound quality, of course, as you can expect, but still louder than your phone and good enough for a few quick tunes on the go. It also includes a integrated kind of selfie stick because it uses the Bluetooth speaker module, or the top, the key here, to act as the shutter key. So you can use this as a selfie stick and Bluetooth speaker all in one set. And in the future, they hope to make this package even more cohesive. I think they're looking at a price range of about $35 right now, and it's probably going to roll out soon. But here's just, I guess, a first look. No real commercial packaging just yet. So taking a quick look at the unit itself, starting with the speaker, it's made out of plastic. It's a little bit glossy, does attract a fair amount of fingerprints. This is a mono speaker and not a stereo speaker, but it does produce a decent amount of sound from the top, a bit of bass as well, which is quite impressive. Pretty clear sounding. There's not too much static in the background, although you can still hear a little bit of that hiss, which is common in Bluetooth speakers. If you listen very carefully, turn the volume all the way up or all the way down, then you can kind of hear it. But all in all, a good speaker for genres like pop music, electronic music, perhaps not the best for audiophiles or people looking for classical music, but still very compact, very small. It includes this lanyard cord that has a 3.5mm adapter, so if you have a phone with you, you can carry this by plugging it into the headphone port and then taking it as kind of a oversized charm. Obviously, you can still put it onto a keychain. That might be a better application, just because this is going to kind of hang around and might hit your phone, and that's not going to be the best over time. But regardless, down below here, there's access to a micro USB port for charging. It takes roughly 2 hours to completely charge, and then this little speaker will last you for about 5 to 6 hours of continuous playback, which isn't bad at all. Tap on the key over here for a few seconds to turn it on, and press and hold on it for a few seconds longer to initiate the pairing mode. It uses Bluetooth 4.0, so it has a range of about 10 meters or 33 feet, and it supports both iOS and Android smartphones. Just go to the settings to pair it up, so it's pretty simple. It just takes just a few seconds to complete. We have an array of LEDs, which allows you to toggle back and forth between things like using it as a speaker, taking pictures, or using it as a selfie remote, and so on and so forth. We do hope that in the future iteration, before it finally hits stores and whatnot, that there's a way to really attach this onto the base. That might make the entire thing a bit more cohesive, because right now it's two parts, but they work in conjunction. Taking a look at the selfie stick next, again, it relies on the shutter key here because it doesn't have any mechanism for you to take pictures on its own. You can use a timer on your phone, but there's no key, so you can't pair this as well. There's also no wires in the traditional sense. So regardless, it has a pretty good construction quality as well, definitely a bit more premium, but this is because it's made out of rubber and aluminum parts as opposed to plastic. The base also includes a tripod mount for you to attach it if you want a more permanent setup. Otherwise, it feels pretty good as well. You can pull this part out, so it's very compact and gets to the same length as a typical selfie stick. To lock the entire thing into place, you simply rotate this to the right, and afterwards it basically remains in place fairly well, I would say, for you to kind of take images by siding it up and holding it in the proper position. The part that holds your smartphone is a universal mount, which supports up to 6-inch devices and has a soft touch rubber to prevent your device from falling out or falling loose or even being scratched when you're inserting it. It has a spring-assisted design, so you just pull on it and then attach the phone into place like this, and then afterwards you close that up. I'm not really sure what this rubber band is for. Again, this seems to be maybe for holding the speaker, but that seems like a very, very on-the-spot decision, so hopefully that this can be worked out when it actually hits stores. But regardless, it works as far as being a pretty functional, a decent selfie stick. So next, we're going to take a quick look, I guess, at using this part for playing back music. So we'll test out the sound. I'll show you guys a quick audio clip, and then I'll also use it as a bit of a selfie remote and show you a few snapshots that I took with my camera. So by default, the Bluetooth speaker / remote comes up as SmartBox 2, and it connects to the phone's both media as well as a text input device. This is fine on some phones, like the Samsung devices tend to work fine with this, but on some Android devices that I've tested it with, because the input device was ticked by default, if you didn't realize to untick this when you're not using it as a selfie remote, sometimes a keyboard wouldn't pop up because it would expect this to be essentially, as you can see here, a keyboard, which is a bit of an issue. But other than that, if you kind of toggle back and forth between that, it does tend to work. So we're going to go into the music next and give you guys a quick sample of what the audio quality is like. So hopefully this gives you a quick idea of what the audio quality is like. So it's still generally clean and nice sounding, obviously a lot better than any rear-facing speaker you might get integrated onto a phone, but you know, in terms of the clarity, it could be a little bit improved, but again, all in all, for a tiny mini Bluetooth speaker, it's really not bad. Taking a look at the remote control capabilities of the unit, we have now opened up the camera app on our device. We haven't really configured it or anything, but you can see here that it basically just works out of the box. Tapping on it takes a 1 second delay, but afterwards the image is taken. It's going to focus first and then capture the shot, as you can see here. So it does seem to work with most devices that we tested it with. There's really no problems as far as with Android devices using it as a selfie remote. The only concern again is that it registers as a keyboard as opposed to maybe an accessory, and as a result it kind of expects you to have a text entry method and sometimes a virtual keyboard doesn't pop up. But anyways, it does work. So all in all, this prototype Eclipse.tv kind of 2-in-1 mini Bluetooth speaker claimed to be, you know, one of the smallest in the world, as well as a very small and compact selfie stick, is a nice combination and definitely a good idea, because I think it's something that can be worked out and something that most people like to use when they're taking self photos and when they want to travel light but still play back a bit of music on the go. However, I do think the company does need to work out a bit more of a cohesive method of sticking the two together, maybe by magnets, maybe by using that mounting screw before they really release it to the public on Amazon or another selling platform. So this has been a video first look and a quick review here at OS Reviews. Thanks for watching.